All right, everybody, welcome back to The Regulars. Over a Couple Drinks presents The Regulars. I am your host, Bill Henning. With me, as always, is Chris Kraus. Say hi, Chris.
Yo.
LB's here, too.
What's up?
And so is Jess Riley. I said words there.
So did I.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. We're doing another episode of Game of Thrones because we're behind.
Yay.
So,
Yay,
what episodes are we
right.
talking about tonight, Chris Kraus?
Kill the boy and unbent, unbowed, unbroken. Right?
Question, is Kill the Boy the cut song from Beauty and the Beast? Kill the boy!
Yes. Yes, it is.
Kraus,
Yes, am I? All right, so doing Kill the boy.
let's get this in because, you know what, we're feeling a little rushed tonight. What is Kill the Boy about?
Daenerys basically is like, you know what? I shouldn't kill people. I know Barristan told me that. I'm going to kill people now. So she feeds some of the highborn nobility to her dragons, which was pretty cool.
Which was fitting on Mother's Day, okay?
On Mother's Day.
For Barrister's death.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for
she's been
Barrister's death.
neglecting her children for so long.
You're right. You got to feed them a person every now and then.
It's like a
Happy
Scooby
Mother's
snack.
Day. I'm still your mom.
Scooby snack.
Though then later she's like, oh, my bad. I think you were right. I'm going to marry you now. The one guy that was like kind of not being a bitch when he thought he was going to get eaten by dragons.
What's his name again?
The guy with the grill.
Doesn't matter.
He's the guy with the grill. The guy
Wait,
with the
he
grill.
has a grill?
Well, no.
I need to pay closer attention to this.
I know. We have an interesting cut to cutting to Master Amy and
This stars
talking.
Alaric.
Yep, talking to Amy and talking to Sam, and has a whole little thing about like, oh, it's a Targaryen and her closest relative is thousands of miles away, and then Jon is like, just pops in the screen. Visual hint, people. Other ones, we have the title of the show pop up because basically Jon's like, Master Amy, what should I do? I have a tough decision, and he's like, kill the boy, don't be a bitch, essentially. Which leads to Jon deciding to tell the Night's Watch he wants to ally with the wildlings. He wants to bring the wildlings in, which causes lots of angriness and his camp. So he's got all that to deal with. And basically Tormund Giantsbane says, all right, I'll do what you want if you come with me to where all the wildlings are and you bring ships and you ship my people back.
That's the sequel, by the way, to Where the Wild Things Are.
That is where,
Where the
Tormund Giantsbane.
wildlings are.
Wild things going.
That's what I'm here
Yes,
for.
where are the wildlings going? Where are the wildlings
Where the
going?
wild things going.
That's what I'm here for. Terrible puns.
That
Thank
is.
you.
Stannis and Sam talk about what everyone should be most concerned about, White Walkers, though Sam's reading about more how to kill them, and I'm like, just give more dragon glass, maybe? You already know that?
Or
But okay.
maybe get a dragon.
Or get a dragon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or this thing called a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers breathe fire.
Yes, exactly. We have Stannis heading to Winterfell, heads out to, like, go fight people, and he brings his wife and kid. Not sure why he did that, but okay. He was Dad of the Year award last episode. And then we have a really interesting moment where Sansa finds out that who Reek is and that Theon is still there, and we have a really creepy dinner scene where Theon is forced to apologize to her.
Yeah,
What?
by the way, I chopped off his
For
penis.
killing...
He's not a real person
True.
anymore.
He does not have a penis, but forced to apologize for killing her brothers, which are not actually dead. But and then, well, two of them, two
They
of them are
remind
not
us
dead.
that. They remind
Yeah.
us that they are not actually dead.
Yes. And then also, isn't this at the end? This is when the Stone Men attack the ship,
Yes.
right? And I was wrong last episode. I was arguing with LB. LB was right. We did not see Drogon flying over the boat with Tyrion and Jorah until this episode. They see him.
Still a great scene.
Still a great, amazing scene. Cool little bit about them just talking about Volantis, which we haven't seen in the books, which was cool. And then we have the Stone Men attacking the boat, and we see at the end that Jorah now has skin herpes, which is grayscale.
Fun Fact Friday, if you've actually read or listened to The World of Fire and Ice, then you know all about Volantis.
I need to read that.
That's true.
But as you can
Sure.
tell, my bookshelf is full of crap.
I'm still annoyed that George R. R. Martin...
We can't tell that, Bill.
One day, dear YouTube viewers, all three of you and the grandmother from Brooklyn, I will show you my house with my bookshelf with too many books that I will never read.
Yes.
That's what audiobooks are for.
I'm so mad that George R. R. Martin wrote World of Fire and Ice instead of writing the other freaking sequel to the rest of this series that he's not done with yet.
All right, let's lasso this son of a bitch back in.
Alrighty.
And
I lassoed cow tonight.
LB Riley, rock paper scissors shoot. And who wants to go first? 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh, I cheated.
Wait.
Both
One.
in scissors.
One.
It's probably both the same thing.
Slow motion.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Shoot.
All right, lift
We
him
have-
up.
We can't see what either of you are
We're
doing.
both,
That's it.
like,
That's it.
sneaky.
Riley.
We double
All
tied.
right. What am I doing? Saying how I feel about this episode?
Share. Open up your feelings and how you feel about this
Open
episode.
up my feels.
How you feels?
Well, let's see. This is the one where where Daenerys is like, "Hey, here's all these royalty people. Like, this is what I'm gonna do if the Sons of the Harpy aren't revealed and like captured and whatnot." And she doesn't really get received in the way that she wants to. Grey Worm, like.
No, I want to know how you feel. Not want to recap. LB across just
No,
recap
I
it.
know. I'm just. Okay.
Someone recap
Here's
it.
how I
Fuck
feel.
it, I don't know.
I hate the fact that Daenerys is like, by the way, Hizdahr, I'm totally gonna marry you. That doesn't make any sense. Why would that happen? Like, why would she settle for Hizdahr Zaborg, which is the same way that I feel in the books? And, Grey Worm and Missandei have another one of those, like, favorite Krause sessions that he loves so much. I really enjoyed the head nod towards Jon Snow's actual parentage. I thought that was pretty awesome, and then the whole like slide into like Mr. Aemon talking about it, who is like one of the the last living Targaryen that we know of in Westeros. But that's just that. But I think those were kind of my favorite parts. It was kind of like a meh website, episode. Meh. I like the dragon.
Meh out of 10.
Meh out of 10. I would give it maybe like a 6 out of 10 or 7. Just didn't really have enough action.
Yeah, I say that. I kind of forgot about the whole stone men attacking scene, so it kind of threw me off for a minute. I went, whoa, what? And it was a little lackluster, agreed. Other than the Scooby Snack highborn, I did enjoy that. Anytime we get to see dragons, it's great. And then the Jorah Tyrion scenes are shaping up to be my new favorites, because again, pretty much Tyrion plus any character makes great television.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage is the boss.
True
I
story.
want to say the Stoneman scene felt a little cheap, where they're like, we're going through Volantis, and suddenly it was like B science fiction movie. They're like, oh no, the Stonemen of Volantis or
Right, there was no
Volantis are
hype
attacking.
up to that.
It's
No.
like
The doom of Volantis still
Like,
lives in Volantis.
we've heard them mentioned a couple times, but it's like, oh, the Stone Man is just like, wow, we're here, we're gonna get you, and they're. I don't know. It's like, why are they attacking them, really?
Well, because if you remember when they talk back in the last episode, Gilly, it talks about how her sisters got it, and it eventually
just go
drives you
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it eventually drives you insane. And they just basically ship them out there because they're like, just put them out in this place that it came from, I guess. I kind of liked it. I thought it was creepy, when you just randomly see the thing stand up and drop into the water. I was like, what?
There could have been a little bit more build-up, though. I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is why I go back to my other episode of like, there could have been more build-up, or we can show a love scene with Grey Worm again.
I like it. Up until this point, I completely forgot that everyone thought the young Stark boys were dead. Because
That's
for one
why they
thing,
mentioned
we
it.
haven't seen them for a few episodes.
They're
That's
not
why
in
they
this
gave
season.
that hint,
Yeah,
nudge,
that's what I felt.
nudge. Like,
We haven't
I
seen
know.
Rickon
you're
in
not
like,
dead, right,
Yeah.
But
Theon?
going back to that
I haven't seen Rickon
episode,
since book 2.
going
yeah,
back,
it's been
going
fun
back to
forever.
that episode when Theon killed the boys, I remember watching it, and there's the big reveal: the two boys hanging there burnt to a crisp, and I was like, "Oh my God, he burnt to a crisp those little farm boys." and I didn't understand why my girlfriend was more upset about it because I didn't realize that what he was doing. That he was, oh no, they're the Starks.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
completely. So yeah.
Yep.
So now, even now, I keep forgetting that that's what he did back then, and that.
Yeah, they kind of have to
killed
remind you
Starks.
about it. You know,
Yeah, that everyone he killed
there's
Starks.
so much stuff going on.
I think
Yeah.
my favorite character summed it up perfectly. He said, Hodor.
We did not hear from Hodor, Bill. I wish we
There's
did.
no Hodor in the season.
Shut up!
You
I
know-
don't believe it.
You know what Hodor says? Hodor.
Hodor.
This is what Hodor said.
Hodor.
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 Hodor!
Hodor.
Is there any really thing, yeah, I would agree, really, besides the ending moment and Daenerys having the Scooby snack, there wasn't anything that I thought was like an amazing, it was kind of like, okay, interesting episode, she's just kind of dealing with the fallout of last episode.
And that's the other thing. Barristan's death didn't add up to anything.
It really didn't.
So that's my
I mean, well,
they killed them just to shock us, the readers. But you're killing off people for no point and purpose. Then I don't want them dead. And
I think it's...
if Barry dies in the books now because of this, I'm gonna be super pissed.
Well, we already know
was
that
like-
George R. R. Martin's not changing anything because of what the show does. He's
You
doing
never,
his own thing.
you never know. It could subconsciously just go in there and be like, "Wow, you just turned into a Barry sandwich."
I mean, if anything, he said
You're a
that
berry
he...
sandwich.
If anything, he said that he purposely has to make sure he doesn't not do something just because the show is done. His natural inclination is to just instantly say, I'm not going to do the same thing.
Which we'll get into something he publicly posted, I think, on his website about the next episode.
Yes. What I will say about the Barristan thing, and Barristan's literally one of my favorite characters, but I will say it does not put Daenerys in a position where she has for the first time, has no Jorah or advisor, older
Except
By yourself.
person.
what's her face fills those shoes real easy. What's her name?
Miss Sendai. Miss Sendai.
I mean,
Miss
kind of. We still have to wait and see if any of this advice she's getting is actually going to be a good decision.
Well, it's not the
You
point.
know.
The point is that everyone's dead, so she goes, well, you know when to listen to people and when not to listen to people. And it's like, so you're doing what Barry did and what Jorah did before that. Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we still got to wait and see if it'll work. This may turn out to be her learning that she should have listened more, or that she does still need someone, and that she'll make bad decisions. Talking about the whole marriage thing, it may end up being a bad idea. We don't know yet, really.
I mean, the one thing I think we didn't mention was that one thing that comes out of this is she decides to reopen the fighting pits, which plays a role in the next episode.
Mhm.
But
It does?
transition.
Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah, Bill. It does.
Is Bill taking away or no?
LB, why don't you tell me about it? Because I clearly don't remember that.
Well, we're going to recap the next episode.
Go, LB, go.
I just watched it an hour ago, and I don't remember anything.
So it really stayed with him, actually.
I don't remember. I
All
remember,
right.
I remember the Columbo moment and the ending. Okay, that's what I remember.
I'm going to jump around to bits and pieces I remember. Everyone
That's
stick
fine.
with me.
Can I talk about the Columbo moment?
Yeah.
Combo.
Well, you want to get there after or right now?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about the episode.
Wait, are we on episode 6 now?
Yeah,
well,
we're doing episode 6.
Unbroken,
Yay,
unbent,
that's the one that I watched
unbroken,
most
unbent,
recently.
unbowed, whatever.
yeah. So
So
Go.
let's talk about what's going on at King's Landing.
the
'Cause
Columbo.
This is Columbo moment. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Bill.
How do you what Columbo's like main thing other than like sucking on a lollipop is this? You don't know what the hell I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
For you young viewers, Columbo was a great detective show.
He was.
Anyway, so
That was the
guess
best around the age of 30.
guess who comes back to King's Landing?
Everyone's favorite secondary character, the Queen
Yeah.
of Thorns.
Madam Tyrell,
The Queen of
right?
Thorns.
Lady Tyrell. She returns,
Queen of Thorns, yeah.
old kick-ass lady,
Awesome.
and she goes up to Cersei and calls her like the tart or whatever, and says, "Look, you got to free my
Cersei?
grandson."
And Cersei's
Knight
been
of
spewing out
Flowers
the
from
same
jail.
answer over and over again, saying, I
It's like-
didn't arrest him.
Yeah, I didn't arrest him. I had nothing to do with it. And so then the High Sparrow, they hold a high inquest or whatever with the High Sparrow and the Loras Tyrell and all the Tyrells, and then, of course,
The
the
royal family.
king, the royal family, the king, the queen, and the queen mother, Cersei. And they're asking Tyrell these questions like, basically, are you gay? And he's like, no. And then they're like, okay, now we're going to call Marjorie to the stand. And she's like, bitch, I don't got to do that. I'm the queen. And the High Sparrow's like, sorry, religion trumps all. And then asks her, has your brother done anything to your knowledge? She says, no. And they bring in this guy who's totally had sex with Loras. And he says that, and he said, Marjorie was there. And he knows, or he can prove it because of a birthmark on Loras's thigh. And so then they're like, now we're charging Loras and the Queen with crimes.
Columbo
Dun, dun,
moment.
dun. How was that a Columbo moment,
Because
Bill?
Columbo's famous thing was talking somebody into a corner and asking them questions to see if they lie, and then brings the evidence forward to say that that I trapped you into a lie.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and he always acted like he didn't really know what was going on, but
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Again, Jonathan Pryce kicking ass, taking names.
And Tommen's like, no! And then he's like, well,
No,
okay.
my booty call.
Marjorie's like, why are you letting this happen? And he's just like, because I'm 13 years old.
Alright, so let's talk about what's going on in Dorne with more Lannisters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, that
Bronn
happened. Where
Bronn
I
and Jaime
fear.
get to water gardens to save Marcella, but she's all like trying to bone this Dornish
Yeah,
prince.
they're getting on pretty well.
Which,
Yeah, she
which
was almost disrobed when they found her.
I did
Hold
see
on.
this great meme where it says that awkward moment when you bust in on your daughter kissing the boy she likes while you're trying to pretend to be her uncle.
I was gonna say, I like that we literally just had like a father-daughter moment. It's like, yeah, but no, I like him a lot. You know?
Bill and Chris,
Yeah.
So
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to recap the episode.
Yeah,
Hold on, I have a serious question. This is a burning question.
Go.
Yes.
Relieve the burn.
Marcella is the middle daughter, aka she's younger than Joffrey was before he died, right?
She's
Yeah.
the only daughter,
Mhm.
right?
But
She's
she's
the only
like the
daughter, yeah.
middle child.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Technically, she
Why
has
the
the better.
fuck does she look like she's 18 years old?
Well,
If not-
same.
Um,
They aged Tommen too. He used to be like 3.
Yeah. Well, because remember Tommen was like 3, now he
Yeah,
looks
Tommen
like
was like 3.
now he looks like he's 15, but he's 13, and Joffrey looked like he was 19.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy.
No, you're not cray cray.
No, they aged her up. They don't use the same actress. I mean, she.
I mean,
depending
they
on how
replaced
old she
Tommen
was.
and Marcella.
All right, they changed actors. Reel it back in. LB, take it away.
All right. So they show up, and Bronn just punches the prince in the face because he's like, "Fuck you! You tried to draw a sword on me." And Marcel's like, "No,
That
I
was
like
pretty fun.
him." And she's
Yeah.
like, "Uncle Jamie, what are you doing here?" And Jamie's like, "I kind of want to tell you I'm your dad, so you'll come with me, but you're probably not going to happen." And then the Sand Snakes show up because they want to kill Marcella, and they get in a stupid fight with Bronn and Jamie.
Most uninteresting fight on the face.
Most
of the planet.
uninteresting
Yeah, the
fight, which
Because-
ends
I mean, you're
pretty
like, cool,
quickly when
they've
the
got whips.
Dornish guards show up.
We don't know who any of the Sand Snakes are. They all look the same because they're all dressed in the same armor, other than one has a whip, one has a spear, and one has a knife.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we quote unquote might have seen Brahm's end there, as he
Vince?
does get slashed with a knife, and the Sand Snakes are known for using poison.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. That's a good catch.
Well, I didn't catch
I was
that
wondering, like,
either.
why are they
Call
showing that
Bill.
close up of him getting stabbed? So he got sliced.
He got sliced, and I think she's the one who's supposed to use poison, who's also supposed to be a
They-
blonde in the book. So who knows?
And-
I don't even remember. I
So
kind of.
anyway,
Anyways,
Yeah.
they all get arrested, and the guards bust in on Ilaria's Sand, Oberyn's paramour, who also probably gets arrested. She's just like, just has this surprised look on her face, like,
whoa!
what are you doing here?
Did I spill
Yeah.
my coffee?
Yeah. So let's go to the north.
To the
No,
north.
we're not-
to
not to the north
to
yet.
the north now.
You know what?
No, we got some. Oh, Littlefinger is in
Oh.
Littlefinger is in King's Landing
King's
still.
Landing.
Which
He's talking to the queen, and he's like, "Hey, listen, all this shit's going on in the north. By the way, Sansa's up there, and she's gonna get married to Ramsay Bolton. They've been
Selling her
lying to
out.
you."
What's his plan?
Sells her out.
You don't think that he's actually going to sell her out?
Well, he's not really selling her out, but
nobody
He
knows
should
what.
set her up.
But he's
no one
like-
knows what Littlefinger's doing because in
But
the
he's
book
like-
he's still walking down a goddamn mountain.
he's like, Stannis and the Boltons are gonna go to war. And he's like, and then you should go up there and
You should
fuck up
just
the winner.
watch.
Just fuck up the winner and clear them out because they're gonna come for you next, whoever wins. Because obviously the Boltons are traitors because they got Sansa up there. And she's like, fine, whatever. But in the end, I want Sansa's head on the stake. And her Littlefinger's like, yeah, okay.
All right, whatever, bitch.
Yeah. Yep.
That's never gonna happen.
I'm gonna keep acting like she's my daughter.
And I love how she's like,
Can I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Did this actually happen? Did Sansa and Littlefinger kiss in
It
this?
is.
Yes.
several times.
Okay. No, I mean
In
like
the book, they kissed once. Yeah.
No, I know, but
That
like
was fun.
in the tunnels, did they actually?
Yes.
kiss?
Yes, they kissed.
Yeah, they did.
I couldn't remember that happening, and I was like,
So-
oh.
That was like 2 episodes ago.
No, it was like an episode. Yeah, it was 2 episodes.
Okay.
It was an episode ago.
So anyway, and the other thing is, she's like, seriously says to Littlefinger, like, I got to make sure you're loyal to the Lannisters and the crown and stuff. He's like, I'm totally loyal to the throne. That's what he says.
Yep.
Little-
Like, don't worry,
Littlefinger.
I'm loyal to the throne.
On it.
It's
We
like
have
clearly trying to
And-
talk
And by the
around
way,
it.
if I sell these people out, you need to make me Warden of the North.
Yes,
Yeah.
he wants to be Warden of the
And
North.
then I'm gonna marry Sansa.
Yeah.
Which
See,
So then
is
he'll have the
very
support of the
abundant.
North.
Real creepy.
here's my problem right now. Before we continue, is this clearly is written for the TV show, and it feels so rushed that it doesn't feel like Littlefinger at all. The whole thing he's been doing this season hasn't been in the books, and like the thing is, Littlefinger like rivaled Varys on plans, and Varys was a fucking mastermind. And now like once they ran out of material, everything feels so rushed, and I mean this sounds dumb to say it because it is, but it sounds so TV-ified. Where it's like, oh, we're gonna go up here now, and we're gonna do this, and I don't really know what I'm doing anymore, and it just feels very rushed and not thought out. And you know, the one thing we know about Littlefinger is that he thinks everything out. I'm just saying, this scene, it feels weird. Am I the only one who feels that way?
Well, I will say this: like, I kind of see. Sometimes I can predict what Littlefinger's doing, but other times it's like, I'm like, whoa, I did not expect him to. I was not expecting him to want to take an army north. Like, I was not expecting that at all.
I
Making it set up.
I'm not sure yet. I guess I need to see more of it. I mean, I know that if they're still planning to end the whole thing in 7 seasons, they only have 2 more seasons to wrap everything up. So
They
They
have
kinda
they
have
said
to.
that they're gonna end it in 7 seasons.
Yes.
that's what they've been saying for a while. Yeah. So they have to move it quick. I don't know. I'd have to just. I really got to see how it plays out and how much. how
Yeah,
they have.
I mean, it'll
Yeah.
play out, but I'm like, it doesn't. These last couple of actions don't really feel like a well thought out plan. They
No,
just
they don't.
They feel like
They
snap
don't.
decisions, and that's my problem. That
Well, he's reacting to what's going on.
Well,
That's
I
He
true.
can't
mean,
control everything.
if
He's
you look
controlling
That
a
is
lot,
true, yeah.
but
his decision with Sansa and Ramsay is a well thought out plan, because he also encourages her to get revenge.
yeah, which
he
I
has
don't
no
know if it's
control
well
over.
thought
But he has
out.
no
Trying to
control over
take
what
out the
Stannis is
Warden of the
doing, so he's
North.
kind of reacting to what Stannis is doing.
Exactly.
But-
And
But
it's
I
not-
feel like he's put Sansa in that position because he wants her
Well-
to get out of, like, he wants his viciousness to have reflected onto her, and he's testing her to see if she has what it takes.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know how vicious.
hold on.
But I think he
Let's-
expects
Jess,
her.
Jess, let's hold on to that because the ending events will lead my thought into
Okay.
to Sansa playing that way. If you know what I mean, right?
But yeah.
Okay.
But also,
recap,
yeah, continue with the
so-
recap. I'm sorry.
go back across the Narrow Sea to where Jorah and Tyrion they're on shore now. They're trying to eat some berries and stuff to stay alive, and then they're like marching. They see a slaver ship. They're like, "Oh no, why are they here? They probably came ashore to get." And the slavers arrive and are like, "We came here to get water." Because they're ending the sentence because it was like, "Boom, boom, boom. We already see you. We already know you're here." And they capture Tyrion and Jorah, and they're like, "We're gonna cut Tyrion's throat and sell his cock to a cock merchant." Because dwarf cocks are magical.
things you learn.
I'm not
from
making this up.
South
How
Yeah.
many more times can we get LB to say cock in a sentence?
And Tyrion says, No. Keep me alive, because otherwise how are you going to prove that my cock is a dwarf cock? And they're like, well, it's going to be dwarf size. And Tyrion's like, think again.
Patrick Bow Wow.
And it's like, all right, we'll keep the dwarf alive. And then
Until we
Tyrion's
find a
like,
cock
oh, by the
merchant.
way, they say something about the queen has outlawed slavery and stuff, so you can't really take us as slaves, yada. And they're like, actually, she reopened the fighting pits, Daenerys did, and of course, who fights in pits but slaves, even though that's not true. And so Tyrion and Jorah see something, they have this aha moment, and Tyrion's like, send Jorah to the fighting pits. He's a great fighter because they see this as a way to get to whatever city Daenerys is, Marine or whatever,
Yeah.
Hmm.
by way of the fighting pits. And they're like, "Oh, who is this guy?" And they tell him all these great things he may or may not have done. And yeah,
They pretty much folded him in with a Barristan and Strong
Yeah.
Belwas. Because Strong Belwas only lets one person. Goddamn. I miss Strong Belwas.
I do too.
other-
I wish he'd been in it.
the other thing that happened with Jorah and Tyrion is that Tyrion had this oops moment where he revealed to Jorah that his dad was dead.
Again,
Sorry.
anything with Tyrion and another character
didn't know
instantly
that?
makes great television.
Yeah.
You
And
like,
Yeah.
George just had that look on his face like, what happened?
What? You mean he's dead?
That's it.
Exactly.
my
It
dad's
was just like
dead.
that.
My dad's dead. Okay,
So, still on this, what?
then we get to the ending.
No, still gotta talk about Arya.
We have some cool
Oh,
Arya.
Arya!
shit.
Arya! Awesome stuff happens to Arya.
Yeah, Arya finally gets to go beyond the second door. You know, she's in the room washing bodies.
Got to level 2.
She wants to go to the next door.
She leveled up.
And
She
they're,
leveled up.
they're like, no, you can't go through the next door. You failed the game. Oh, but we're still playing, by the way. And that's
You're
what
always playing the game.
what's his face has that encounter with her in her
What is that
bedroom. It
noise?
sounds a lot worse than I'm trying to make it sound. He's like,
No,
who are you? And she's, instead of this time saying no one, she says, I'm Arya. I'm of House Stark. My dad was Ned. And she says her dad was killed in battle, and he whips her and says, you're lying. And then she keeps talking. Every time she lies, he whips her. And then she says, and I was traveling with with the Hound, and I hated him.
Smack.
And smack. And she's like, no, I really did hate him. And he smacks her again and says, you're lying to me, you're lying to everyone, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah. Which was
And
cool.
then he takes her to the room beyond the second door.
After she helps someone pass on.
Yeah, she helps
Yeah.
someone pass on. That's right.
By lying.
She gives someone, a sick girl, this bowl of water. Says, "This will make you feel better."
Dad's.
Your dad loves you.
My dad brought me here too, lying to her, and then gives her the bowl of water. She dies. So now she gets to go beyond the second door, down a very familiar-looking staircase, looking just like the one that was beyond the first door, and she gets to this room of faces.
Yeah.
Does it have a name in the books?
Faces.
I
That
don't
didn't
think
happen
we've
in the books.
seen it. No.
Yeah.
She
So
plays
the room
she plays the game of many faces, and she
Yeah.
plays like a homeless person, which I think we'll see later.
Okay.
But I think this is explaining how the faceless men work, which
Yeah.
I really,
Don't find it.
really like.
Like, yeah. What's that guy called? Jagan?
Jagan.
Jackin.
We don't know where he is in the books.
No, but-
he might be somewhere.
But he talks
Yeah,
to
I
her
mean-
and he says, "You're not ready to be no one, but you're ready to be
very
someone
quiet, Jess.
else."
We don't even know if this is the same person who she encounters
That's very
early
true.
in the season. It could be a new person wearing his face because he
Very
knows
true.
that that's the face that she recognizes.
Because
I
the
just like
faceless
to
men-
assume he
Like,
is.
oh, she's a
Many-Faced
Jack
God.
Nagar. Like, let's just
Yeah.
grab his face off the shelf.
Mhm.
I mean, we know Jackin. I think we know Jackin was a faceless man, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that it is Jackin. There's theories in the books.
It could be.
It could not be. It
Because
could not
the
be. Yeah.
faceless man,
I like-
Well,
that means his face, that face that he was wearing
Is in
at
stock.
the Dreadfort
Is in stock. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would make that could happen. I feel like it's probably safe to assume it's probably the same faceless man that she encountered, possibly. Or there's all this talk about being no one. You know, it kind of sounds very Buddhist. Maybe they really do lose all sense of self, and they all are aware of what all the other faceless men encounter. Yeah.
Be able to assume this new personality, this new
Yeah.
person as a new person.
Yeah.
all right. So, ready to talk about the end?
Yes.
Ready to talk about the controversial
We're ready
end.
to talk about
All
what
right.
actually happened, what everybody's been waiting
We'll-
to hear, what our
we'll-
prestigious opinion.
We'll get to it. So, Sansa's taking Sansa has a bath drawn for her by Miranda, which is the which is Ramsay's bed warmer, and Miranda's like,
It's
"Oh,
also a
by
planet on the edges of the black.
Bill."
What? I'm
And
just
then-
throwing
I'm
in
trying
information.
to recap the fucking episode, Bill.
And I'm
Let's
just,
let's wrap up a recap so we can get on with
We'll
the
chop
Oh,
your cock
LB's
off
getting
and sell it to a
real
cock
furious.
merchant.
Get it, Elvers.
cock merchant.
Cock merchant.
There's people called cock merchants apparently. It's awesome.
Okay. So
Anyway, and so then Miranda's like, "Oh, by the way, you better not bore Ramsay because you don't want to know what happens when he gets bored with a woman." And Sansa's like, "Oh, you're just trying to scare me. Get the fuck out. I'm in my home. You can't scare me." And then she gets married to Ramsay, and she's very hesitant to say that she wants to marry him. And then I thought it was very interesting because Theon is the one who hands off Sansa, and when you're saying, who is handing her off, instead of saying Reek of nowhere, he just flat out says, "I'm Theon of House Greyjoy."
Because they told him to say that.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
also-
T-dubs.
Also, in the book, he has this like mental break where he doesn't know if he's Theon or Reek anymore, and it's this really screwed up section in the book that's great, and they're not playing it up in the show well, where he kind of slips back and forth, going, "I know I'm Theon Greyjoy," and then he goes, "But I'm Reek. Reek. It rhymes with like shriek."
Rhymes with meek, rhymes
Yeah.
with meek, rhymes with yeah.
Yeah, it's this really weird moment where like because in the books again, it's what was it, Lady Jane
Poole.
Poole, and he goes, "That's not Arya. I know who Arya is. I'm Theon." And then like he'd see himself in the mirror and goes, "No, I'm Reek." So they're not playing it well in the TV show. Continue, LB.
So Sansa's like, "Oh, fine, I guess I'll marry you," and Ramsay gets this horrifying like grin on his face, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
It's absolutely like awful, terrifying.
I feel bad for that actor because he's probably like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And then the episode ended.
Yeah. Basically, he had his wedding night festivities and
And he forces Reek to watch
and
as
forced
he
which is better than
beds
what
his wife.
happened.
But the episode ended before that happened.
So where do we want to start with that? Because we want to start with the big one because we might as well be done after that. A lot of people are freaking out over the scene. We didn't see anything really, and everyone should kind of count their lucky stars here that we didn't get what was in the book. If
Yes.
you replaced Jane with Sansa in the book and was shown on TV, it would have been 100 times worse.
Or
Because Ramsay,
shit that they wouldn't. I don't even know if they would venture to go, like D.B. Weiss would like venture to write that, or if they would, like the directors would venture to go that far.
but
because,
it's so fucked up. Ramsay goes, "Hey Reek, why don't you warm up my bride for me with
Yeah.
your mouth?"
because you don't have a penis.
Yeah.
So you just, LB, digest that real quick while we adults just talk.
Oh,
real
we
quick.
adults talk.
So just
That's how bad it could have been.
that's how bad it could have been. But what I wanted to say about this was, what was confusing is that in the end of the last season, we kind of had the Darth Sansa thing, where you think, oh shit, Sansa's finally waking up and gonna do something about it. But then she just complies and goes along with everything again. I am hoping.
However, she didn't do that for Tyrion.
No.
She didn't just grin and bear it.
No.
Well, I mean,
Know that there's a plan. She has to have a plan. They're trying to make her a stronger character. Because let me tell you, in the books, I hate Sansa.
Yes.
In the rest of the series, like I've hated Sansa in even the TV show. But now I'm intrigued.
But
She's becoming a player in the Game of Thrones.
This is my point. I hope that this scene happening wakes her up to realizing she can't keep being meek and coy all the time. And the
I
problem
don't
is,
think she's trying to be.
but she was, because she was like all like, "Oh yes, I will marry him," instead of trying to do something. Like people have come up to her saying, "If you want help, we will help," and she's still going, "No, I have to keep going along with this plan that Littlefinger set me
But
on," instead
here's
of
the thing.
taking control. But
She doesn't really have a choice.
let me finish, and then you can talk all you want. Is that
Hey, Bill, I'll let you finish.
I'll let you finish in a second. But first,
but first, Littlefinger had the best plan ever. No, but like, she still seems like going along with Littlefinger's plan. But I kind of hope this kind of wakes her up to the idea that if you don't do something yourself, nothing's ever going to come of it. Because look at the two Stark girls. All right,
but I think she's already realized that.
clearly not, because she just got raped by
No,
Ramsay.
because
And
think about it. Think
but,
about it.
No, think about
If
this.
if
Just
Sam
what did I
was-
just say? Let me finish. All right, let me get my thoughts out because I'm gonna get to where you're going. Okay, just let me get there. Is that we're looking at the two Stark girls? Sansa's had the way easier time than Arya. She hasn't really seen any of the cruelty. Tyrion was really nice to her, and yes, hold on, Joffrey
What?
abused her, But she wasn't
was with Joffrey.
Yeah, but she wasn't constantly on the run for her life, being like in battles, possibly getting killed or anything like
But
Arya.
she wasn't fondled.
She had
Like,
more
she
the
wasn't
mental.
sexually abused.
Yeah, she
Yes,
had to.
she had
She
the
had to
mental-
go out and see her dad's head on a spike.
Oh,
and
yeah,
have
'cause-
Joffrey.
Arya's like been pretty smooth because she can pass off as a fucking boy. I can put like my feminist hat on right now and be like,
my point
there are
is
things here.
of
There are things.
of the physical cruelty, Sansa hasn't had much. Tyrion treated her real right, but Ramsay isn't gonna be Tyrion, and I'm hoping this opens her eyes to go, shit, I need to get my stuff in gear and do something.
But Joffrey ripped her clothes off and made his guard beat her.
Yeah.
She's had a
Arya hasn't experienced cruelty.
One second,
Yes,
I gotta
she
plug my
has.
computer in because my battery's running low. So
Yes,
you all
she
know that. I'll be
has.
right back.
Arya's been like chased down in battles and fights and lost friends, murdered people. She's dealt
But
with way more.
Arya is a strong, taught sword fighter.
And I'm
like,
hoping
she's an actual, like,
mentally this helps
different.
Sansa
They're completely
get to that point. I'm hoping this is the big eye-opening moment that was shown at the end of the last season with her being, I'm now in control because I'm Sansa Stark. This is kind of her catching up to it. With this last kind of thing that, she can't keep playing meek. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I'm
think
getting there.
I'm hoping it's the thing that flips the switch in Theon's head, because obviously you saw at the end of the episode that he pretty much broke again.
Well, that's the thing. They're not focusing on the rape. They're focusing more on Theon breaking because of the rape.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if they continue on with the
unbreaking
storyline, could lead to interesting storylines in the future, especially if they are going in the same direction with the wildlings and et cetera, which I won't spoil anything.
I'm really hoping that Sansa just takes a knife from dinner or whatever and slits Ramsay's throat in the middle of the sleep. I
think that's what they're leading into because
really
she's consummated the marriage. She agreed to consummate. She didn't
Yeah.
She wouldn't have agreed to it. I'm sure she should have been fuck no, and gone off, and then he would have had to forcibly take her.
Yeah.
But he didn't, and she didn't. She just kind of yeah, it's painful because she's a virgin, and yeah, she's not consenting to it because she doesn't fucking know this guy. But at the same
Ramsay Bolton.
time, she's allowing herself to be put in that position where with Tyrion, she didn't fake it until she makes it. She didn't have to. He didn't force it upon her, but she didn't have to fake. She didn't have to just go ahead and so clearly, if she's letting the marriage be consummate, then she wants it to be legal, because then if she kills Ramsay, then all of a sudden
she's in charge.
She's in charge. She's the Warden of the North.
No,
Wardeness.
Bing, bang, boom. She's the Warden of the North, especially if the North remembers, and she has all these smaller people come and be
not if Roose has his child.
They can also just because
if Roose has his child, she's not the warden.
Yeah.
She's not the Warden of the North. Roose Bolton has a child.
Oh, yeah.
If Roose has a kid, then he's above Sansa. But
All right.
I would say
Sansa's just gonna have to murder everybody.
she's gonna kill. I mean, I'll say
her being like a banshee. I mean,
She needs to go Assassin's Creed Winterfell on this shit. All right.
she has to go Assassin's Creed Winterfell. Going back to
I would pay
bring up
to see that.
bring up the controversy surrounding this episode. I'll just start it off by saying, first off, I was not bothered by the show adding rape in. I mean, this show is based off medieval Europe.
It's already been in it.
Yeah, it's been in it since the first episode.
Again, adding it again.
But it's
adding it again.
Say that.
Adding it again, because this, it's a brutal world. This is a brutal world. We know this is a brutal world.
I'm not excited that there's rape in this show, says Chris Krause.
I'm not upset that there's
I'm
rape.
not. No, seriously though. I mean, I think this is something. I really am not making a joke out of this, because you guys know this, but if anyone's listening, I take this stuff seriously. I was trained in this issue.
Yeah.
And was used as a story. It's part of this world, and it's based off medieval Europe.
They established that in the first 2 episodes.
Exactly. Now the issue I do have is that And I still need to see, because I need to see. I think the biggest issue a lot of people freaked out about this is because one, it has not happened to Sansa's character in books. It's a big thing to have happen, and I'm not against changes. My biggest thing is I'm against gratuitous violence for the sake of being shocking. I'm fine with shocking events that actually
I don't think it
lead
was
to
shocking.
something.
I don't think it was shocking just to be shocking. I think this is, like I was saying, this is
I
kind of
don't
like
know
the
yet.
eye-opener for Sansa, for her
See,
personally.
I disagree about that because I think her eyes have already been open a long time ago.
But-
Now, Bill, yeah, you could argue that she's gone along with people, but she hasn't had a choice.
But she's still
She
going
hasn't
along with
had a choice.
But
Littlefinger.
I also
What else can
see
she
the
do?
fact that,
But
like,
she could say no to Littlefinger.
And then
she
what is?
could.
But
And then he'll tell her you're going to do it
This
anyways.
could be
She's
the
not
turning
dumb.
point.
But my point is, she's just been going along with Littlefinger, like she went along with the Lannisters, like she went along with everybody else.
Did she ever have a chance? Did she ever have a choice? She couldn't leave the
Everybody
Lannisters.
has a choice. Yeah, it might end up in
Yeah,
your
she
death.
could die or she could go along with what they're doing. She
But
didn't have a choice.
She's been playing the scared little
Realistically.
girl since season 1, episode 1. And you know what?
I mean-
I'm hoping
And
this
then
opens
her
her
voice
eyes.
dropped and she grew some balls.
See, and
Your character now.
that's what I was saying is I don't think the rape was needed to get her there. I think she was already there. I think she knew what was going on. She doesn't really, again, she's had to follow these choices because who else does she have if she said, screw you, Littlefinger?
Okay, well,
Not only
then-
that, she's not dumb. You know.
I mean,
Let's say this is a callback from like season 1, episode 1 with Daenerys. This is kind of like Daenerys had her eyes open.
That's something I did not actually. Once I read the books, I had an issue with that change too. I want to put that out there. The show's been doing this 2 instances: Daenerys, the Jaime and Cersei scene, and now this. I was more upset with the other 2 changes because that changed something about a character how they were displayed in the books.
Yes.
Right now, I'm still waiting to see. It doesn't change anything about Ramsay. Ramsay would rape Sansa if she showed up to him in the books.
Yeah.
I just want to know, again, like I guess going off what you said, Bill, I want to see that. I just want to know as a, and we don't know yet because we haven't seen the other episodes. As a, as them, the producers going, all right, I just want to know that they had a clear thought out reason is we're doing this because it's going to inform this about Sansa's character. It's going to lead Sansa down this path. It's going to lead to this, and not that it was, not that it was just like, oh, look at this shocking thing happening to Sansa,
Yeah. Instead of getting LB's point of view here, let's go back to the designated girl of the episode and get more feelings on this. Because I've been cutting Jess off, and it's been important for her to talk. I'm sorry.
For LB.
I'm sorry, dear. Okay.
I just don't know, and like it's totally okay. I just I'm not arguing the fact of whether or not it's rape because rape is anything that's not consensual. Yes, yes.
We here at Over a Couple of Drinks think rape is bad.
Yeah, like
All
everybody,
forms.
everybody agrees rape is bad,
And shouldn't
and
happen.
anything that's not consensual is rape. Even even in any situation, that's
Doesn't matter if you're
very
married.
touchy subject. Doesn't matter if you're married. Doesn't matter if you're in a relationship and you don't want to have sex with the person that you're with wants to have sex. It's an issue. However, I personally think that this is a tool that Sansa's using to get to where she wants to be. And I think that that's something, it's not something that her character has offered in the books, really, at this point, but I think that it's forging her into a more malicious, more sinister character in the whole storyline, because I do think that in the end she's going to end up killing Ramsay. I do.
I hope so.
Because
I'd love to see her do it,
after
yeah.
all that, because they took the first time we saw rape in Westeros was Daenerys and Khal Drogo, and then she ended up falling, she wanted to figure out how to please him, and then they end up falling in love, and so everybody forgets that was rape. And then the whole thing with Jaime and Cersei, they're like, well, they're kind of in love with each other, so it's rape because she's saying no, but she's not really saying no in the books. So everybody.
She doesn't. She says yes in the books. Yeah.
She says yes in the books, but on screen she's saying no. So it's
Yeah. Yeah. It was presented that way. Yeah.
because that's how it was presented, and Lena Headey can go on and say it's not actually what it is, but that's the way that it was presented, and that's the way it is. That is the equation to call something rape, non-consensual. If somebody says no and they mean it, then no.
They don't even. They don't even
but-
actually have to say no. They just,
Right. They don't
but yeah.
but if the word no is said,
Yeah,
that's a clear
definitely.
sign.
That's a clear sign.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Let's get
But
off.
anyways,
Let's
So
get
like
yeah.
reeling that whole
Reel it in,
like
yep.
concept back, I think that this was Sansa didn't have to marry him. She could have said no. And
I mean,
she knows the Bolton history.
what?
Like,
So yeah, she
she's a
says no. Then what happens? She gets
well-educated-
killed.
But
She's not going to say no. She doesn't really have a choice.
no, she does, because she is. The thing is that she's a regal, like she's a lady of the house. And
So they killed her mom.
But
They killed her mom and brother.
learning-
You think that matters to them?
Hold on. When they learn the houses and they learn the sigils, they learn the histories of each house. And since the Boltons were of the North, she knows all about she knows all about Ramsay. You can't say that she doesn't know about Ramsay and what
Nobody knew about
is.
Ramsay. Nobody
No,
knew that
people-
Ramsay was like that. No one knew that. No one knows that in the show or the books.
All right,
You don't think so?
Just reel it
No.
in. Reel it in. Reel it in. We gotta
You
get
know
LB's
that
thoughts.
you know that at least in the movie, in the show, because like you see him chasing down a woman and like hunting a woman with Miranda. Like you know that he's this like cynical
In his own-
bastard.
In his
And,
own,
like-
yeah, but it's not well-known knowledge. People didn't even. A lot of people weren't aware
But
of
how
him.
do you know that? And like
I mean-
how do you know that she wouldn't know? Like I mean,
Clearly,
it got to the point
Guys,
where Peter.
guys, we're
Dinklage-
reeling it in. We're reeling it in. We're
yeah,
reeling it in.
Littlefinger doesn't know.
Reeling it in.
Littlefinger-
Just get to your point.
Littlefinger- Okay, my point is, I think that this is a plot point. It's shitty that it happened, and it's shitty that it showed on TV, but I think it's a plot point, and while Sansa was not consenting to it, I think she'll use it as a tool to gain power in the situation. Because now she's got an in.
Yeah.
And if she lets what happened to her become known, the North remembers.
LB, thoughts on rape?
Hat.
I don't have any thoughts about rape. I have thoughts about a different part of the episode, though.
Okay, go.
It is my favorite part of the episode, and I just want to talk about it.
Let's end on
Because
the
it
light
also
now.
has a lot to do with my favorite Shakespeare play, The Merchant of Cock.
The Merchant of Cock.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Drop the mic.
We'll see you sometime other time. We're over a couple of drinks with the regulars, and this was the cock and rape show.
What?
I don't know.
Bill!
No, either.
I don't know. Well, we just had like a 45-minute discussion on rape and cock.
It was not that long.
But disconnected. Two
Yes.
separate conversations.
Okay,
Conversation.
so we will try to keep you on par with weekly episodes of Game of Thrones, so we're not doing 45-minute ones. And we will try to do movie reviews soon. Yes?
Yay!
And who knows, maybe LB will get on top of that podcast that we recorded.
Oh,
Or-
calling me out.
Or maybe I will edit those playthroughs we did. That's behind the
Maybe
curtains.
someday when I'm a real kid and living in Orlando, I'll actually do some podcasts.
Yay! And also, a very soon, I'm going to hint it now, Kraus is going to put on his boxing gloves and duke out with a former guest of ours on who had the better season finale. That's coming soon, hopefully, right, Kraus?
Yeah.
All right. We will see you guys later. I'm Bill.
I'm Jess.
And that's LB. He's not talking. Peace out.